Alright, so I know you're probably wondering why I stopped the video there, but I want to keep each video short and manageable so you can view it without wasting so much. So let's continue. We have leaf, as I mentioned before, so we can do something like leaf post. I'll just say slash post. This also takes in a function, and then we can say echo post, right? But then what if we want to do something? The posts, our browser doesn't directly allow us to make post requests, so we can't check it out now. But then later on, once we start developing something, we'll use tools like Postman to make posts and other forms of requests. So we'll see how this works later, right? But for now, what if we want to do something like so let me just copy this. What if we want to have a get request, right? But then when we make want to, let's say, have a single route which handles both get and post requests or other forms of routes. So we'll have to do something like post if we want to handle a post request to this same base route to produce this same result. We'll have to do this same thing again. Leaf doesn't really like this repetition, so then Leaf provides a really simple method to handle this sort of situations. So we will say leaf match, then we bring in the type of routes we want to handle, so we can say get, we use this as our separator, post, put, patch, any type of route we want to handle. So I'll just do this and save. So now when we go to let me just make this slash match, right? So now when we go to slash match, we get home page. That's what I used as the output here. If we make a post request to, we'll get this same result, right? So then that's how match works. Right. So the next thing we'll talk about is subrouting. Subrouting. So what subrouting allows us to do is it allows us to create a new base route, and then any other route we make to. So let's say we go to user, we go to slash settings. Our new route will be slash user slash settings, something like this. So our slash user becomes a new base route instead of slash. I hope you get me, right? So later on we'll be looking at a better use of this subrouting. But for now, let's just see how it works. So just like any other route, we'll start with leaf, but then here we'll say leaf mount, and then this takes in the new base route. So let's use the users example. So our new base route will be users, and then it takes in a function or callable, but then but then this time we'll do something funny over here. We'll say use leaf. This is because we want to be able to use this leaf variable here inside this function, right? So we do it let me just copy this. We do it this way. So we say slash settings, so leaf get settings, I'll say user settings. So you see what we are doing here is we are mounting /users as our new base route, and so any other route we define within this function just adds on to this. So in our browser, if we just say /settings doesn't exist, so we get 404. But then if we say /user /settings, then we get what's wrong here? Oh, okay, /users. Let me just make it /user. So /user /settings, then we get user settings. So this is what base routing, sub routing is. So we can have as many routes as we want. If we want to make a route for only /user, in this way we can simply do this /, so that way we get user. Let me reload this. Right, we get user. That's how simple sub routing is. It's a really cool feature, but for now, since we are not using it for anything sensible, you might not see its use. Right. Okay, so now let's look at dynamic routing. So let's say you want to do get rid of this. Yeah, so let's say you want to maybe get a particular user ID. You can have so many users in your app. You don't know exactly how many users you have, so you can't do something like user /1 /2 /3, because you don't know the exact ID of the user you are going to get. So Leaf has something called dynamic routes. So you can set up something like this ID, and then we can enter ID here also, and then we say ID. So this ID is this particular ID variable referring to ID here. So let's save this, and then we'll say user maybe 1, and then we get user 1. We say user /100, and we get user 100. So that's like the basics of dynamic routing. Leaf also has another type of dynamic routes, PCRE based pattern routing, dynamic routing with PCRE based patterns. So these are the most commonly used PCRE based patterns. So we can say \d+, and we get that for maybe one or more digits, as in 0 to 9. So you can see this is kind of limiting the what we pass in here, because for here we want an ID to be a number, but then someone can pass in something like this, and we'll still get the ID here to be this. So with PCRE based patterns, we can limit the input. So let's use this one. I'll say \d+, right, and we keep this as ID. We can also have ID here, and when we reload this, see, we get a 404. But if we put an actual ID, a number in there, we get 1, right? So this is simple dynamic routing. In the next video, we'll finish routing completely. So I hope to see you in the next video.